Yeah, just gonna try it. Do it again.
Yeah, cool.
Ah, I got a subscription, so it seems like it's working. Stream offline. Do it again. Oh god. Yes, I'm live
So
again.
stressful.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
Okay, so now the connection should be better, I hope.
And we're back.
Yeah, it also looks better on YouTube.
Oh, nice. Yeah, refresh the stream.
Okay, yeah, I see chats. It's better. Connection. Okay, great. Okay, it was my problem then. Sorry for that. It's weird. I just installed like a new extra router with like 4 antennas. I don't know, like 5 meters away from my laptop, so I have no idea why it's so shitty. But yeah.
Oh, that's so annoying.
Shout out to Sharks in the chat. Shout out everyone in
Sharks.
the chat.
Hi.
Yeah. Alright, so next question. Methods for songwriting and how to make the progressions click together. Right, for me, I have a good example for this. The new record I did, called Stay. I got that vocal via my management, and when I got the vocal, instead of adding the vocal to a song, I had the vocal and then I just started to write a melody for the vocoder. So and that melody has to match exactly to the vocal, because otherwise it doesn't work, you know. So once I got that melody for the vocal, I had MIDI that I can work with. So I have the bass note of the vocal, I have all the top layers, all the chords and stuff, and then I grabbed all these parts of the MIDI and made new sounds and copied the MIDI to these sounds, and then mixed them up a little bit different, so it sound all different, and that was like the main melody for the song. And then I made the drop, so it's like completely the other way around. Instead of making a song and then look for a vocal that might just fit, because always when you get a vocal, there's always some parts that you're like, yeah, it works, but it's not perfectly like it matches the sound for the track.
Yeah. I think it's just like trying not to make the at least for our music, at least like trying to make the drop feel as though it's part of the intro and it's not just like two separate songs flung together.
That's also really
so it's just
important.
like, I don't know, it's like, yeah, it's just like teasing stuff on the intro that's in the drop, and like, I don't know, like if you look at like Subfocus, like a lot of his stuff, a lot of it's just based around like one melody, and that's like the idea for the track. It's just really simple, but like so well done.
Yeah, and repetitive elements coming back all the time.
Yeah.
Instead of like making the intro, making the build up, and then the drop, and then go from there. Well, obviously it's good to make something new, because it's like refreshing. But I try to have like a single riff or something from the intro back until the end of the song. And that's always good.
Yeah. Yeah, it always feels nice when it like comes back around, like that bit that you recognise.
Yeah. And something you can sing along.
I think the Phase 1 remix album's just been announced by the looks of things.
Ah, yeah, I see it in chat as well.
Yes.
Alright, I want to see this question from Martin Alvarez. Oliverse, how do you make your basses more melodic, like in your remix of Soundboy? Like you have this kind of like sync sound to it, right?
Yeah.
Show me how you do it.
Like using sync. Ooh. I don't want to give it all away, but it's literally like, it's literally just using like sync and using like the like combining oscillators so that you can get like an extra like tone above it, to get like that 7th note, which you can do through sync really, but it's like 6 and 2 3s really, it's just the same.
Yeah.
But
and in Avenger.
Yeah, there's the Zomboy one. I think I used LFO tool on that one. Yeah, it was quite like a laid bass underneath, and then like the lead line had like an LFO tool just like ducking away to get that rhythm going.
So it's like two sounds, two
Yeah,
group,
yeah.
and then LFO. Ah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite like a kind of sound like subscape almost, like his kind of bass is underneath, and then it's got
Nice.
like a detuned saw just doing the da, 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 da.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, I'm not
Yeah,
correct
it's
in
almost like
Logic.
future bassy, but kind of okay.
What else? In the chat. Show serum preset now or I leave. Well, we can. You can kind of like show what we do, right? Like
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'll
open up.
see if I can open up the Lone Wolf remix project.
The only problem now is like, oh wait, you can do a screen share, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do a screen share and then I can see what you're doing.
Right, hold on. I haven't used Skype in years.
It's in the bottom right, next to the heart emotion.
Options, share screen.
Yeah, that's one.
Right, this might be a bit stretched because I've got an ultra wide.
Okay. Hey.
Is that sharing now?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool.
Ableton fam. I actually just downloaded Ableton because of the vocoder, because you can have like two inputs. That's what I need for like.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't have that in Logic.
I was gonna say, I think if you get the, cog to like all the apps for like iPhone and stuff. I think they're giving a few of them apps away for free, but you can get a light version of Ableton.
Oh really?
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, yeah.
Alright. Oh wait, yeah. I've seen this, by the way. Yeah.
What am I doing? Oh, yeah,
Give me a second, yeah?
Yeah, cool. Let's just fire up the Lone Wolf project file, see what's in here. Yeah, I've got Discord. I think we just booked Skype.
I'm just gonna grab a new drink, yeah?
Yeah, cool. This project's taking a while to load. If anyone's got any questions, just fire away. Taking notes profusely. Right, let's see if hopefully this all loads.
Okay, what did I miss?
That's one thing I just remembered. Well, how does the audio come through? Oh, it'll just come through my mic, won't it? And I've got headphones.
Yeah, but that's fine, yeah. Otherwise you have to make like a loopback setup, but should work.
Is that okay? Is that coming through alright?
Yeah, it sounds pretty good actually, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so the so that's all LFO tool. If I flick that off. That's just giving it more like definition. So what have we got going on in here? Oh, this is a messy project. I don't think there's that much. So there's this lead which is made up of a few different things. Just some like
basically loads of
features,
layering and then put it on in a group and then LFO the hell out of it, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I like this bass though. That one.
Also, yeah, it's just like 3 different layers. Ooh. And then like the main bass sound, which is just.
Do you like write the pitch envelopes by yourselves, like on automation, or you do it in the plugin?
They're just done with like notes, so I've just got
Ah,
like
like
mono mode on. So at the end
like
of each like phrase is this higher note up here, which is just like.
yeah, like legato.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a pretty simple track rate. I guess once you get into like the second drop, it's a bit more crazy. Don't even know what was going on here.
Yeah.
I think that's just this. I think they're both the same sound, but one's got a bit crush on. Yeah, it's the same sound, but one's got a bit crush on. I've just laid them both together.
What do you use for bitch crush? Like kilohertz?
Yeah, kilohertz.
I can't really get a nice sound out of it. I just crank everything to the top, and then use the.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. I was just fooling around with the knobs too much, and then it always sounded way too overdone, you know. So you have to
I
crank
think
everything
most
up and
of
then.
it's in the frequency,
Right.
but I also have I've got the second layer. So like that's quite thin on its own, but together.
Yeah. Ah, okay. Makes sense. Yeah.
I'll just put the chat over here.
I have 2 screens now. Finally, actually, I have a third, but I have everything is a USB-C on my laptop, so I need to get another like HDMI to USB-C one.
Oh yeah.
So annoying.
Is people saying they can't see my plugins, but I can see them on the stream. And people just trying to get me to open the bass patch.
Yeah, I think it was like an old comment. It was like from the very first part when you played the stuff.
Ah, right, cool.
You should be able to see it. Otherwise, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know what else there is in this project. It was just really nice to get hold of some Zomboy stems to like play with, because I've always wondered like how he keeps his tracks so clean. But
yeah. Is there anything you noticed?
Cool.
Like something else he's doing, or like?
It was. I can't remember what it was. It was quite interesting how he splits his like bass sounds up. Hold on, let me close this.
I know what he does. If you listen really closely to some of, mostly his more heavier drops, he has like one bass sound which is like right in your face, and then he has like another drop which is basically doing some sort of a double drop, but like really low in volume. So like one bass is doing like.
On this one as well.
Ah, okay, yeah, that's what I noticed. Like I don't know any other producer doing that. It's basic, yeah, or like the long screech and then the stab notes, but not like making 2 drops and like one up front and then one in the back, basically.
Yeah. I think this one had like a bit of like a screechy noise like in the background, just like following the main bass. But there's one thing that I'm trying to figure out with this track. So I'll show it now, and I can't quite figure out how he's doing it. Someone might know. It might be something really, really like really simple. But like if I just take like a Zomboy tune, take like Want to Survive, I think. I was trying to figure out how he like widens his basses and gets them like so wide, but like so cleanly in phase.
Still mono.
Like, yeah, it's
heavy.
like it's weird. Cause like if you look on this, I tweeted about this a little while ago, but I couldn't quite figure out how to. No one really had an answer, but.
That's incredibly mono, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's like really wide, but then it's got this thin line going like across the bottom, and like you've either got stuff in the middle there or stuff along the bottom, and there's nothing like in between. Whereas if I load up like one of my tracks, um,
Maybe he's doing like a duplicate of the drop, like put it on like 200% stereo and stuff.
yeah, I was thinking that like
Like
it's just
a
so clean.
parallel stereo drop or something.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just wondering like how he does his like stereo with stuff, whether it's like a short reverb or it's like a plug-in or something. But
Yo, basic. Well, you kind of have the same.
it's not too far off. There's a few
No.
things like jumping out. Maybe I've got the answer in the My Vibe project.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
been trying to figure that out like all day.
just wanted to say, like, I really like your mix sounds. When I like do a double drop with your tune and my tune, and I switch the bass from my tracks to yours, it's like, such a big difference. I'm like, nah, how the fuck did you do that?
Oh, thank you. It's just yeah, I don't know. Like whenever I like start a mix down from a track, I'll normally just like I'll try and mix it as I go along. But once it gets to the point where I'm starting to mix it down, I'll just turn everything off and then just add things like one by one. 'Cause it's quite good for like choosing which elements you need and that you don't need.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. Like, start from one element and then solo everything, everything else, like, add it on top. And then,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Mm.
What else have we got? How do you make your basses fit with superstars? Like in Unspoken. I guess a lot of it's just like choosing which bit of the frequency spectrum you want to fill up really. Um, so like if I've got like a bass and a superstar, I'd cut the high end on one of them, probably the bass patch, because obviously it's quite easy to like clean up your low end. You just like high cut everything that you don't want, but obviously there's quite a lot of like high end content that you want to put in your track and to make it sound nice and bright. But as soon as I started like cutting the high end off stuff, it's just cleaned things up like so much. And just kind of like break it up and think like, what do I want filling up like that very top end? Like, is it a
Right.
hi hat, like the top of the saws, or like
So, like, the mid bass you basically only use for the mid and the bass. And then the
yeah, yeah,
saw you use for the crispy, bright sound. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So like, I think Unspoken. I don't think I can open that one. I might not have even done that in that track, but what I'll probably do now is just like roll off the main bass sound at like 12K or something. So there's still a bit of top end and brightness too, but you haven't got that like super top end, and then like the really high top stuff is coming from like the like super saws,
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
top of the hats as well.
I overdone that sometimes a bit too much. I feel like my last mix sounds are a bit better in that part.
Yeah, yeah. It's really tricky because like obviously like every sound has got high end and like feels like it needs it.
Yeah, but it all together.
Whereas a lot of yeah, whereas like it's a lot easier to take the low end out of stuff because generally stuff doesn't really need it other than the sub like and the kick.
Yeah. By the way, I see a comment here from Xiu Dewey about Franky. How did you learn anything from working with the Jazz collab? It's a bit a hard question because we did the collab online, and actually I had another song with him, which we wanted to finish, and it took forever. And then I had a track which was finished, and I sent it to his label to like release it on this label, and he was like, "Yo, I actually like this one, and do you mind like breaking the track up?" So he kind of just the first drop is basically me, then the bass underneath the first drop is his, and then the heavy sounds is like 50-50. So it was kind of more like sending sounds back and forth instead of being on a chat or being in a room together. So not really, to be fair, but I did learn a lot from him, like being with him at shows, because I've seen him like 5 times now in person, and he's such a open-minded guy. Where in dubstep everybody's just talking about how to make your drop heavier, or it's like always the purest mind, and he is just talking about how you can make like an 80s disco song and then make an edit from that into like a crazy EDM banger from now. That was, I think, the biggest thing I picked up from him. Like, open up your mind and not being stuck in just this dubstep environment, like learn from other genres and don't give too many damns. But yeah, show me your track.
That's the way to do it though. Like,
yeah, that's kind of
it's just weird, like collabing over the internet and stuff, because you don't really like. You obviously learn a few things off people, but you don't really learn an awful lot, because like.
Yeah, all you get is audio.
Remix. Yeah. Like the Unspoken remix with Muzzy. Don't have a clue how he made that sound as good as it did.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember we had this conversation, and he sent you like 3 different mix downs, and you were all like, "Oh gosh, they're all so
all
good."
In the space of like half an hour, and I was just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah. Yeah, he's a talented guy, man. Crazy.
Yeah, he's so good.
Yeah, show me what you got.
Oh, this is just a template.
Oh, okay.
Just whenever like a lot of a project's just got some like some stuff ready to go. Or like the routing and stuff.
Right. Have you seen this the Skrillex video where he breaks down like his actual YouTube video of Mumbai Science where he posts the project?
Oh yes.
There's this interesting way of how he roots stuff. I could show it on Logic. I mean, he did it in Ableton, but I made my own version of it.
Have you got?
There we go.
Yeah, I'm watching this through the stream, so this might be like slightly delayed.
Yeah, that's all good. Needs to load.
How does Skrillex do it? I forgot how he like breaks it up. Doesn't he have like a pre-master or like a master just for the synths or something?
Yeah, he has a lot of different like groups. Like, it comes down to like 3 or 4 routings until it gets to the actual final master. Okay, it's loaded now. Let me drag it in the right screen. Okay, so basically, come on, yeah. Okay, so basically, he has all the single channels, then his single groups, so like kick snare group, hi-hat groups, synth groups, the basic stuff, and then he has this thing called basic chain and hype chain. I don't know how he referenced that in a way or why he called it that way, but I just called it that way, the same way. Anyway, all the sub parts, so like sub affix and everything like impacts and stuff is going to this hype chain thing, and then everything else, so like vocal group, synth group, blah blah, is going to the basic chain thing. So he has the entire track on one group except for the bass. So they don't solo the group, so I can't see what's on his like chain right there. But what I think he does is like most of the times, like the problem in your mix sound is that your sub is like a little bit too loud in comparison to like your high frequencies. So if you get like your meter and stuff, and like your high peak of 4K or something is like here, then your sub needs to be around here as well, like the same peak. So I think that's why he does that. So it's like easy way of like dragging all the things together. And I think what he does as well is like a little limiting on like the entire track or like stereo stuff, because it doesn't affect the sub. And then both of these chains go to chain group, and I think that's where he does like some final tweaks, and then it goes to the actual master. So
cool.
Yeah, a little bit complicated, doesn't make too much sense, but I feel like it's giving you a little bit more control. The other cool thing as well is like if you want to like have a complete silence because of like a kick and a snare, or like when you want a vocal to pop up or something, you have the entire track on this, so you can just make like one single channel going straight into like your pre-master, and then you can just make a volume automation on this and then go back in. So it's like a extremely clean cut of like removing the entire song and then come back in, instead of writing this all these automations on all the different groups. So that's kind of that's kind of useful though. Yeah,
that's quite a good shout out.
Yeah.
There's one trick I know that he uses. I'm not too sure if like, I think Getter might have put this in a stream before, but that's who told me about it.
Who?
Getter. I don't pronounce the T's. He uses Getter. He uses isotope alloy on his masters apparently.
Okay.
And he uses this transient mode. I'm not too sure what this does with phase, and looking back, 'cause this was quite a while ago when he told me, so I'm not too sure if he still does it, but in fact, yeah, if I put this on this master channel, just with this little like loop I've got here, you can really get your drums to like punch out of the mix, but he puts this on the master, so like it brings out all like the hi-hats as well.
Alright.
So
yeah.
it's just like really snappy, like.
Yeah, why not? I never really thought of doing a transient thing on the master, but because it's multi-band, it's still possible, of course. That's actually a good one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write this down as well for myself. Otherwise we'll
We
forget everything.
Straight away.
Otherwise we'll forget everything and then have to re-watch the stream.
yeah.
like my own stream. Okay, so alloy to... Okay. Ah, that's a good shot.
Obviously takes up a bit more headroom.
Do you use this as well on your masters?
I've stopped using it. I used to, but I should give it a go. It's been ages since I've done it, but you can also drag this sustain down as well, and it can clean your top end up a bit. So like, listen as I pull this sustain down if it comes through the mic. Like, yeah, I'll just leave the top end on.
Alright.
You can get quite like choppy sound if you want to like clean it up a bit. Obviously you don't want to like overdo this, because I'm not too sure what it does with like phase and stuff. Like,
I'm always really scary with doing these things on masters.
yeah. But it's doesn't look like it's doing
too much trouble. That snare sounds tight though. Like how do you make that snare? I saw this question as well in the chat.
I think that's the Get To Me snare.
But you make them yourself, or it's just like samples?
Samples mainly. I've tried to synthesize them like so many times, and I just cannot get them right when I synthesize.
Okay, then I have something to show you, because I've recreated yours snare. I think I did actually a really good job on it. Right, give me a sec. I have to like load a new project.
I was gonna say that snare in Stay is like so good.
Ah, that's also how I made this. Like I do it in Kick 2.
Oh, nice.
Right, so let me see. Snares. Okay, this is the one I recreated of yours. I do hear it. I do hear like a slight delay. I don't know if that's in the chat or it's just me. Like my rerouting.
Hold on, I'm going to play it in the stream. I think I missed when you played it.
Ah. I think it's fine.
Oh yeah, I've just added that. Yeah.
Does it sound like there's a delay on there or not?
There's quite a bit of delay.
Ah, shit. Okay, wait, let me check in OBS.
Like it'll sound fine for people watching it. It's just when you're talking to me saying listen to this, I have to put the stream on, and you play it like 5-10 seconds after.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean like the actual sound of the
like
snare.
Echo. No, it's fine.
Okay. It's like a clean. Okay, cool. Because I think it's because Logic is playing it back into my headphones and OBS is playing it back into my headphones with like a millisecond delay, So it sounds a bit weird.
I've just got
cool.
the one signal coming through.
Cool. So yeah, I made this, but here I got this. I think. That's the kick I've made for that track. Maybe it's this one. Nah. I don't know what was the one I used for stay. But anyways, you can get like let's start one by default. How do you do this? Give me an init.
It's just trying to get snares that are like really like hard hitting but not distorted. Like Zomboy is like the absolute king of that. Like I don't get how he does it. Like
when like the low end is like this oof, like way too much all the time.
But like it almost just feels like a sine wave, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just.
Well, that's a good thing about kick too. Like the low end, you can like shape and pitch all the way like how you wanted it to be. So I'm just gonna put this off, and let's say we make a snare in F or something. It doesn't really matter. Also, a snare doesn't always have to be like a key. To be fair, like the one I recreate from you is like a pitch down snare. So.
Right, yeah. I was gonna say, so I do kick drums in kick 2, and that's always like really good for like getting it right in key with the track.
Yeah, but the cool thing is about this, I don't know if you know, but you can go to like load. Just a second. You can go in here, and then user, and then you can create your own folders with samples of your own. So and you can actually like hit up splice. I have to start it up. You can like drag and drop a sound in there. So just a quick one. Okay, so this one's really tight. You drop it like this, and then kind of drop click file here, blah blah. And now you have that snare over here. So when you go to click 1, you can see the sample, and this is like the volume. So for the pitch of the sub, it needs to be like tight. So let's say we go for an F. This one has to be an F as well. And then for the amp, it always gives you this weird ass curve for the init one, but yeah, you have to just put it on like this.
Oh yeah.
I
never understood why it does that.
Yeah, I don't know. It has to be super short, because that's what you mean with like these snares of like the heavy dubstep right now. The bottom is just like this, like way too long and a full block, and that's why it sounds so gnarly.
Like
it's not
like
it's not really round. So
I think one of like my favorite snares I've heard is in Lost Angels by Zomboy, that unreleased like track that leaked a few years back.
Oh, I don't know that one actually.
It's so good. It's just like the full mix on its class. There's one hi-hat that stands out a bit too much that I don't like.
Okay.
It's like a tambourine thing, but got the kick and snare on it. Like it's in F sharp as well, so it's got quite a lot of sub. But like, it just sounds so good.
Sick. But it's unreleased then.
Yeah, but the WAV leaked on Reddit like 3 years ago or something. So
Right.
I don't think it's ever coming out. But he plays it in a set, you'll probably recognise it.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, you can use this click now. They call it click, but this is basically your sample now. And then, so now it's playing together. And with the low pass and high pass thing, you can like remove the sub out of this sample. So you can do the sub from this one, like the ampli one, and for the second one, I just grab some of my own now. You can just go and search for a nice transient click. So wait, something like this. I don't know. Oh wait, This one is actually really good. Which side we want? Okay, and then I just do like this, like super short, so it's just a thick. Okay, got my solo as well. There we go. Should be a bit longer, I guess. Yeah, there we go. And now on click 1 you have to like remove that click, so like that. And the cool thing is, here on the view you can watch the click of the other one, so you can like shape it exactly so when the click is done that this one fades in.
Oh right, yeah.
And
that's
with
cool.
this you can put up the volume, so both of them together. And now the sub. Okay, this is way too low. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's a way to show it. And then for the third one you can pick a tail or something like this, the one from All I Want. If it loads. Alright, yeah. No, come on. Yep. Have to drag the same shit again. Put the view back on of the click. So something like that should work fine, and then yeah, it's obviously not perfect.
Sorry if
but
I'm a
it's
bit delayed in responding. I'm like watching it back on the stream like 5 seconds after it happened.
okay, yeah.
That sounds good, that.
Yeah, this is something I made in like a few minutes, but if you tweak this all like the right way, and the cool thing, I almost forgot, like the individual samples you can pitch up and down as well. So so you should, before importing the sounds, you should like define where the key is by looking at the transient, and then pitch them all up so every sample is in the same key. And another cool thing to make it sound really good is like now on the limiter, it's obviously way too loud. So what's gonna happen is that it's gonna click till 0, and then it's 0 dB. So you think like, okay, that's cool and done. But then the true peak of the audio, which you can measure with this one, I guess. Where is it? Yeah, the true peak is like 1 dB, match all the volumes until it's like right touching the 0. So that way, once you finish your snare or something, it doesn't sound like it's already limited and compressed and whatever, because all of these sounds are limited and compressed already as well, because it's from Splice. So like now it's just not clipping. It's like 1.5 dB, and then you can like crank it up with whatever you want, or like with the drive on this, or the limiter or whatever. Yeah. Same in here. There's like a little distortion one.
I think I need to make some snares tomorrow.
Yeah, it's so good, man. Like, yeah, I can show you a few I made. Like, especially the heavy ones are really cool. Like,
yeah. I just wish you could like scan snares in and then like convert them to like the graph view, so you could like edit them from there. Because what I
you could do that, kind of. Like you could import an extra snare, like this one from Sultan, and then just make sure the entire thing is on, like full volume. And then when you go to another click, you just do this, and then you can see the entire waveform of the sound. And then you can shape it exactly like that one. I guess it
could be zoomed in.
Yeah, so you can like...
Because
you know?
I've done this for like a little while, so like I've went through like a few tracks, the mainly Zomboy ones, but like just snipped the bottom of the snare out.
Yeah, I know.
So it's literally just like...
But that's the problem like, again with the... When you cut this stuff, you probably notice, like when you drop in a snare from Splice or something, like something heavy, and get the company one. Like now it's 0 dB. Wait, give me a sec. Oh well, this one actually isn't 0. That happened to me for the first time ever. Okay. Just trying something. And then this is not 0 as well. Okay, usually when something is 0, let's just put this up. No audio file, shut up. And now when you put an EQ on there and you like actually remove something, it's gonna clip. We're actually removing audio, right? And that's because of the thing what I just explained here with the kick 2, because it's already on it. The peak is at 0, but the sound pressure is louder. So when you remove something, it's gonna sound terrible. So that's why cutting audio out of tracks, or actually doing it like this, like a transient and then adding a tail to it, it will sound terrible, because you will have this, like the peak stuff, and there's no room for you to work with it again. So that's why I like this, because that way you can still make some like round sounding snares without busting too much into the limiter all the time. Yeah,
totally.
But I still have to get more work into this plugin though. But I'm getting there.
I made like a really nice snare the other day, because I've been trying to I've had this snare in my head for like
yeah, like a sub-focus snare, almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Metric, dimension, sub-focus snares. Like they're still heavy, but...
So it's quite like nice rounded off, but it's not too distorted. I finally managed to... finally cracked it the other day. And
Sick.
All it took was a 909 snare. Just like processing that.
Like from scratch, the old school way.
Yeah.
Sick. Okay.
I'm not going to play like any of this track because it's not done yet, but I'll play the drums because it's just it's got the banger beat on, so
sick. Before you do, very important notice: everyone in the chat, wherever you are, subscribe to Oliverse's channel, subscribe to my channel. If you subscribe to my YouTube channel, you get a really fancy video thing with your name on it, and it looks really cool and everyone can see it, so hit that subscribe button. Okay.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Where's this going? Oops. Pause the stream. Yeah, this is the snare that I made.
Hey, that's a new subscriber. It does sound so much like you though, the snare.
Yeah.
Sick.
But yeah, it's just
that's a really cool snare.
Just like I love it. Just love like the overtones on like 909 snares, because I've got like the fundamental, which is quite like heavy, but it's got like some nice like bits just above that, like between like 200-300 hertz. Just like so nice.
The warmth. Yeah. Thank you, Ashley Kali, for subscribing. Awesome. All right.
Oh, thanks for subscribing to my channel as well.
Some new questions.
Some stuff on there.
New questions. Let me get back in the chat. Haven't checked the chat for a while.
Yeah, fire some questions away.
Throw questions.
Snares for a long time.
This is a cool question. From Elijah Stevens. Did either of you go by another name before Ollie or Franky? And how did you get up with your current name?
Yeah, I used to go into Curious Control like